Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to the Pain Clinic. Yes, it is another show, and it's a special show because it's only me today, so it's going to be probably shorter than regular. But welcome to the Pain Clinic for October 25th. Couple holidays today. It's Howl at the Moon Night, which is a lot more than just one day. I'm guessing for a lot of people. International Artist Day, Make a Difference Day, Punk for a Day. Okay. World Opera Day and World Pasta Day. Birthdays today. Too Cold Scorpio, 60 years old today. Perry Saturn is 59. Rosa Mendez is 46. You might remember Rosa was in the Diva search a long time ago, but yes, Rosa Mendez is 46. Hey, interested in roller derby? You want to be a skater, officiate Rock City Roller Derby needs you. Contact recruitment at Rock Derby Recruitment at gmail.com and join Rock City Roller Derby for your men's team, Flower City Fear, FLOUR, flowercityfear.com. Since it's just me today, I'm just going to go through a couple things and just spiel news for a while. I do want to talk a couple things like Uso versus Punk for the belt. We'll talk a little bit about that, but before that, I want to get into what happened to Wrestle Dream last week. If you followed the show, we all made our predictions and everything. In Wrestle Dream, I'm just going to go through some of the results. Obviously, if you saw the pre-show, you saw the Death Riders defeat Roderick Strong and the Conglomeration by pinfall. Eddie Kingston and Hook defeated the Frat House by pinfall. Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale defeated Top Gods, Megan Bain and Penelope Ford by pinfall. And FTR defeated Jet Speed. Then we got into the show. Jamie Hayter defeated Thekla by pinfall. Great match. Start the show. Jurassic Express defeated the Young Bucks, won that $500,000 tag team match, whatever that means. Hurt Syndicate defeated the Demand. That's Ricochet, Bishop Khan, and Talona by pinfall. Kyle Fletcher defeated Mark Briscoe by pinfall. Chris Statlander defeated Timeless Tony Storm. I'm a little surprised at that, but not. I'm thinking Tony's probably going to shoot into the women's tournament with Mina Shirakawa, but we'll see. Mercedes Monet won. Speaking of Mina Shirakawa, defeated Mina Shirakawa by pinfall to take her belt, which was the Ring of Honor Women's Television Championship belt. So now Mercedes Monet has more belts than any person who's ever collected, apparently. And I mean, that's just in recorded history, folks. Brodito defeated the Don Callis family for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Hangman Adam Page defeated Samoa Joe, and then had everybody turn against him by the end of the match. And then we had Darby Allin defeating John Moxley in an I Quit match, which involved putting heads into fish tanks full of water and tasers and all sorts of stuff. So if you got to watch any of that pay-per-view last weekend, you really got the full gamut of AEW wrestling. And, uh, you know, it definitely wasn't bad stuff. So, if you want to check that out, Wrestle Dream, you can catch it on replay, I'm sure. But kudos to them. So the other thing I wanted to talk about before I get into some the news, and I don't even know how long this will go, maybe half an hour. If it goes half an hour, it'll be amazing that I can talk a half an hour about wrestling, without having everybody else's opinions. And I do miss Rob's tied up, DC's tied up. Danger Boy has been lost in the abyss for such a long time. We don't know when he'll ever come back. But it's just me and you. So thank you so much for being here. But what did you guys think in the chat room about the battle royale for Seth Rollins World Heavyweight title and Punk getting the automatic buy into the championship match because I don't know because he lost to Seth Rollins too many times. I'm not sure exactly why he gets the buy. Obviously, Punk is going to win unless Jey Uso does a massive heel turn. I could see that happening. I could definitely see that happening, but we're going to get that final on the next Saturday night's main event, which I believe is the day after Halloween. Halloween is no. Let's see. Saturday night's main event is it's in like 2 weeks, and we're going to we got a whole bunch of good matches actually set for that, which we will definitely get into later when I'm going through the news. But the next one coming up is it's in November. Obviously, a week from today is our Halloween is this Friday coming up. So not only do we have Halloween next Friday and then the first of the month, but we also have we have fall back that weekend as well. So it'd be interesting. It's going to be November 1st, so it's a week from today. It's definitely going to happen. It's going to be you definitely don't want to miss it because you're going to get a new heavyweight champion out of it. And it's interesting, that I don't mind battle royals on TV every once in a while. So that was pretty cool to have a battle royale to determine it. But then we had like Jay knocking Jimmy out, and that I thought that it was kind of like they kind of emphasized that is kind of like why would he do that? It's his brother, la la la. His brother just helped him a few minutes ago, but it was like getting rid of his brother and LA Knight in the same fellow swoop. So I'm kind of excited. We'll see. I mean, the people obviously want Punk to be champion. You hear them; they're screaming like crazy. So kudos to WWE finding something interesting. Last week we did talk a bit about how uh, some of the storylines are running long, and it doesn't hurt that they have all these injuries happening as well. With Seth Rollins, was supposed to play a major part for a while with WWE, and now he's recovering from shoulder surgery, and who knows when he'll be back? Who knows how long that he'll be out for? I can't imagine he'd be back before WrestleMania. I mean, it is October; it's almost November. So, so let me get in some news, and then we'll take off, and it'll be an early day for everybody. But if you were watching last night on SmackDown, Tiffany Stratton was taking on Kiana James in a non-title bout. Jade Cargill came out to back up Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton gets the win, and then Jade Cargill turns on Tiffany Stratton, which is that is not a. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, you know what? I think it was going to happen sometime. But I mean, obviously Jade Cargill is heavy over, but Jade Cargill was caught in the back and said that she was caught by Kathy Kelly after that, and she said the world doesn't reward patience. That was her excuse. So that's definitely a heel move. So now we're going to get Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton on the Saturday night's main event as well, coming up November 1st. So I thought that that was a nice heel turn that happened last night on SmackDown. It was a pretty good show overall. If you guys were watching, I definitely enjoyed it. But I think that was the thing that stood out the most. That I'm curious about Dragunov and like where that's going to go, just because he's like he made that weird statement. They had a backstage segment where he was with Axiom or Fraxium or whatever they call him, and he says that he takes on singles as well as tag teams. So I thought that was an interesting statement coming out of his mouth. Is that determining? I mean, is this going to change the way he defends the belt? I mean, obviously he's doing he'll defend it every week. Come out an open challenge. What happens if a tag team comes out? Does it become a three-way open challenge? I've been curious about this since he said that last night. So, and they don't say things to say things. They say things because it was in the script that way. So there's a reason for it. But beyond that, so I'm going to get some other news. If you were watching AEW this past week, and you saw Mercedes Monet come out and celebrate the 11th belt, and I believe there's 12 now since then. But we were talking last week, Rob, the artiste and I were talking on the show about how Mercedes Monet has all these independent belts, and it's like, and we were wondering, it's like um, what does she charge to get booked on these independent shows? And it came out that um, there was a new report that came out that said she's commanding a lot of money for independent wrestling appearances. And what I heard, the figure was $25,000 for a single appearance. Now, I think that may adjust depending on the size of the area. I mean, $25,000 is a lot of money for an independent appearance. I don't think I mean, that's why, I know it's interesting is the person who quoted that money also said they had to turn down that because they couldn't afford it. But I think it's there's a lot of factors that come in, location, like if it's close to where Mercedes lives and stuff like that. But it's the first time we actually heard the number $25,000 for an independent appearance, and so I wouldn't suspect we'll be seeing Mercedes Moné anywhere around Western New York for a while, unless she's with AEW when they come, because that's an awful lot of money. Some other AEW news: Peter Avalon, you might remember, he was one of the original people who started on AEW Dynamite. He sidelined. He had the longtime AEW star took to social media to reveal that he recently underwent surgery to repair both his meniscus and ACL on Tuesday, October 21st. A procedure marks Avalon's second major operation of 2025 following a rotator cuff surgery earlier in the year in April. He has not competed inside the ring since December of 2024, though he did make a brief appearance at Ring of Honor on Honor Club last October, teaming with Preston Vance in a tag team match. He's a member of the original roster. We don't really see him that much. He was like with a group. He was part of the Wingmen with J.D. Drake, Ryan Nemeth, and Cesar Bonanani. They were I hate to say jobbers to the bigger teams, but they were so. But unfortunately, you won't be seeing him for a while, anyways. Now that he's having the both his meniscus and ACL repaired. Wrestling legend Abdullah the Butcher has reportedly been hospitalized. It was updated by Steve Stasiak from the Book Pro Wrestlers website at that time. There's no specifics on why he's in the hospital, but he know that he will likely be available as updates are provided by those close to the WWE Hall of Famer, whose real name is Larry Shreve, is widely regarded as one of the most feared and influential brawlers in wrestling history over the past several years. The 84-year-old star faced multiple health challenges, including ongoing mobility issues and complications stemming from decade-long in-ring career. And he also owns a Chinese food place in Atlanta, I believe. So, we send our best to Abdullah the Butcher. We hope everything's okay. Speaking of another injured wrestler, Jay White, he sent the wrestling world a buzz this past week when he had a cryptic one-note post simply writing "ready" with a question mark. That message instantly ignited speculation that Switchblade was gearing up for a long-awaited AEW return. However, it turns out fans may have been getting worked once again. White's post wasn't signaling any imminent comeback. It was likely him trolling his followers. While White had never shied away from stirring the pot online, the latest tease hit a little differently given how long he's been away from AEW programming. White has been out of action since March after suffering injuries at both his hands and his shoulder. The hand issue alone was expected to require extended recovery period, while the additional shoulder damage only complicated matters further. As a result, insiders don't expect White to be cleared to return to the ring before the end of 2025. So, well, we hope Jay White gets better. We weren't absolutely sure what was wrong with him. We just knew that it was a bunch of things, and we won't see him probably before 2026. It's interesting that I saw this story. AEW All Elite Wrestling is putting a lot of focus and attention on the women's landscape recent. They've now got the brackets for the AEW Women's Tag Team Championship tournament out. And if you missed that opening round action, one side of the bracket includes Queen Aminata and Jamie Hayter versus the Sisters of Sin, Sky Blue and Julia Hart, as well as Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron versus TBS champion Mercedes Moné and ROH World Champion Athena, which they kind of teamed up after this past week's Dynamite. On the other side of the bracket, AEW's World Tag Team Champion Tournament, we have Alex Windsor and Rio versus Timeless Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa. See there, I mentioned that earlier, and then it happened. As well as Megan Bain and Penelope Ford versus Tay J, duo of Ty Mello and Anna J. So they're thinking maybe there's rumors that possibly that they would have an all-women's pay-per-view for AEW. You could definitely do a couple rounds of these tag matches in there if they wanted to, but not only is the company carving out a space for introductions of the entire women's tag team division, there's also been reported talk of an entire event dedicated to the women of AEW and Ring of Honor Wrestling. The AEW Women's Tag Team Championship Tournament scheduled to kick off this Wednesday on Dynamite, live from Burt Ogden Arena in Edinburgh, Texas, airing live on TBS and HBO Max at start time at 8 o'clock. So we'll get the beginning of the tournament. Maybe we'll get an idea of maybe the all women's show coming up, which, I think is a great idea. WWE's done it and very successful. I'd love to see AEW do it too. They have an incredible women's division. But you can start watching this week on Wednesday night for the women's tag team tournament that begins, and that's going to be super exciting. If you were watching this past week's Wrestle Dream, and you saw in the pre-show where Big Boom AJ showed up and got punked out, apparently there's going to be a match based on that at Full Gear. If you saw, that's going to take place November 22nd at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. The TikTok star turned AEW attraction will step back between the ropes in a tag team, joining forces with a mystery partner to take on Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero of the Don Callis family. The match adds another layer of intrigue to what's already shaping up to be one of AEW's biggest cards of the year. Originally, AJ had hoped to team up with son Big Justice in what would have been a viral father-son moment on pay-per-view. However, according to reports, AEW officials declined the idea due to Justice's young age, forcing AJ to find a new ally from within the active AEW roster. Now, the mystery partner has not been officially announced yet, but there's a lot of hints going towards who AJ Boom's first match in AEW, which was against QT Marshall. And so a lot of people are hinting that QT Marshall may be the guy who tags with AJ, Big Boom AJ. To be honest with you, I thought it was funny when he got beat up. So you know how I feel. If you watch this podcast or show ever before, you know that I don't care too much. I have no idea what the big double chocolate chip cookie, whatever the damn thing is. I don't have I don't care either way. So, but they did try to kind of build that up a little bit on the pre-show last week on Wrestle Dream pre-show, which I did mark out for because they were like in a crowded bar and they got beat up. So cool, good to them. So, some bad news for WWE, possibly. I'm not sure. I haven't seen much about this, but Stephanie Vaquer's night on Raw may have ended with her hand raised, but it also sparked some concern among fans and those backstage. During Monday night's broadcast, the WWE Women's World Champion scored a hard-fought victory over Roxanne Perez in singles action. However, it was what happened moments later that had many worried. Vaquer appeared to tweak her knee during the chaotic post-match brawl that followed. While attempting a springboard maneuver off the ropes, Vaquer slipped and came down awkward, immediately clutching her knee upon landing. The Chilean star was visibly limping afterwards and seemed to be in real discomfort inside the ring. So, not heard any word either way. Well, I guess we'll find out Monday. Depends, because Vaquer is a staple on Monday Night Raw. There's certain moves that people mark out for. We'll say that she does, and they tend to put her in a prime spot every Monday night so everyone can see. She's also a very beautiful woman. Don't get me wrong, but we're hoping the best for Stephanie Vaquer, and hopefully she's not. Maybe that's she's just playing it up, or maybe there was a little tweak. Things happen. So I've got some previews for shows going on in the next week that I'll go through, and then we'll get out of here, and I'll make it a short show for you guys. I appreciate you guys coming in and checking us out with everybody missing except for me. But you know what? I'm the one who does all the work anyway, so they just show up and talk. I have to gather all the material. So why not? I'll take the credit when the credit's due. Following matches and segments are advertised for this Saturday, tonight's AEW Collision. We've got Hangman Adam Page speaking. There we go. The Young Bucks and FTR versus Jurassic Express and Jet Speed in an all-star 8-man tag team match for $400,000. You know what? I don't care. Yeah, really. There should be a smiley face on this, right? I get to Mike, like the guy who sits in the front row all the time. No, there's no smiley face. But yeah, for $400,000, it's like, yeah, I don't care about the money anymore. I think, it's just a tease for the Young Bucks to lose money again. So I'd love to see him like hand it out to the crowd. Then you'll really impress me. Okay. AEW. We got Mina Shirakawa versus Tekla. We've got Pac versus Tomohiro Ishii, and Hook will be in action. And that was taped Wednesday in San Antonio, Texas, at the Boeing Center, and it will be on tonight on TNT. On if you have Spectrum Channel 33 here in Rochester, or at HBO Max at 8 p.m. Next week's shows, we've got a few previews for Raw, for the advertised matches for Raw this week. CM Punk and Jey Uso meet face to face before meeting for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship on Saturday night's main event. And we've got Nikki Bella versus Roxanne Perez. That's so far what's announced, though. We think that Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair will be wrestling, defending their titles as well, but we have not had that justified yet or advertised yet. So this week on SmackDown, we definitely have these are set in stone. Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. They kind of got into a backstage thing last night on SmackDown. And Carmelo Hayes versus Kit Wilson, who wasn't in a wheelchair this week, so that's a good thing. But those are two matches that are, uh, not the biggest star power matches in the world, I will say. I mean, everyone loves Alexa Bliss, don't get me wrong, but those aren't the hugest star power matches. But they also are setting up Saturday night's main event. I'm guessing there'll be something to do with some of the people in that. In fact, I will give you what's going on in Saturday night's main event. So far, we have the undisputed WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre, and that is a 1 week from today. That's November 1st. We have WWE World Heavyweight Champion for the championship, CM Punk versus Jey Uso, and then we have WWE's Women's Championship, Tiffany Stratton defending against Jade Cargill after that big turn from Jade Cargill last night. So kudos to that'd be fun. It's gonna be a fun night on main event this week coming up. So definitely don't want to miss that. And the last thing I really am going to talk about, and this is, like I said, this is a short show. I apologize, but we've got NXT Halloween Havoc is tomorrow night. Yeah, I think it's on Peacock or ESPN. I'm not sure how we're going to get it. I think it's Peacock, but it's they're doing that. This is a live NXT event at the Prescott Valley Finlay Toyota Center in Arizona, Prescott Valley in Arizona. Got Leon Slater versus Javon Edwards, and Javon Edwards versus Mr. Iguana and La Parca. We have Ethan Page versus Dr. Wagner in a Day of the Dead match for the NXT North American Championship. Zarya versus Blake Monroe for the NXT Women's North American Championship. Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy versus two members of Dark State in a Broken Rules match for the NXT Tag Team titles. I'm guessing, I'm surprised that the Hardys have held it this long, even though they don't have a WWE contract because they're working through TNA. This might be the time they drop it. I don't know. They did take it from them as well. So got JC Jane versus Tatum Paxley for the NXT Women's Championship, and Ricky Saints versus Trick Williams for the NXT Championship. So that's what you got going on Sunday night on looks like Peacock at 7 p.m. It says. I'm not absolutely sure of that. I am absolutely not sure about that. I'm gonna look. I'll stall a little here while I look it up. So, but it is a great. Halloween Havoc is a great pay-per-view name from WCW days, and I have fond memories of the Halloween Havoc WCW shows. Not so much the NXT shows yet, but let me see. Let me see how people are going to be able to watch this. So it's yeah, it says it's going to be on Netflix. Duh, broadcast on Netflix. Oh, that's an international market. So I don't know. I'm hoping Peacock will be the people, but I thought they were done with Peacock. So I don't know exactly what. You're gonna have to look it up that day and figure out. Not on tonight. 8 Peacock. What? NXT on tonight, 8 o'clock at Peacock. So that's tonight. Oh, October 25th. I'm sorry, I just gave you a lineup for tonight. I thought it was Sunday for some strange reason. So it is tonight, and it is on Peacock. So, hey, kudos to this may be the last thing that's ever on Peacock for WWE, but it looks like a solid card, man. If you have nothing going on tonight, you're not watching the World Series or you're not watching hockey or whatever, definitely take that in. And I'm going to get out of here. I know I'm cutting this short, but usually we like throw around opinions and everything. I really was, I always, once I start getting into talking about like, say, wrestle dream and getting people's opinions, we tend to go off the rails for a while, but we are not this weekend. It's a perfect weekend for a short one. Next week, we'll be back in full strength. So please, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. You guys have a great day. Body slam somebody you love, and we'll see you next week.